Okay, we're here to present Tepox V. Tepox V is actually a new product for Tenax, relatively new product. It's a set of colors, tints, basically 7 colors starting from blue, black, brown, yellow, green, red, and gold. These colors are typically used during your fabrication process. Let's take a couple of steps back. What's happening in a polishing facility, typically in Brazil, India, Italy, is that the slab get honed, resin, and treated with a color typically to enhance some of the natural features. So you end up with a color that's more yellow, more brown, or it's actually maybe a mixture of 2 or 3 colors, different than what originally was in nature. So you can take a Jupirana Colombo and give us some gold flakes or give us some red reflection. The problem is that when it ends up in the hand of a fabricator putting an edge on it, the edge will have an excellent polish, maybe even better than the surface, but it will lack the color that was added during the process in India or in Brazil, whatever the case is. Tepox V is basically the same product we supply the manufacturers overseas to make slabs, and it's applied here on the field. When you're edging your stone, you can bring it to a 400 finish, you dry it, you apply Tepox V, 1, 2, or a mixture of different colors until you reach the desired tint that matches the surface. Once that is done, you can dry the application. Basically, there is a quick drying time that you can do with a heat gun or with a torch. After that, you apply Ager on top and you're going to fix the surface treatment into the stone. The important part is what happens after that. When you finish your polishing process, you basically want to go back to a grit that's not aggressive to the point that you're going to remove the tint to just apply. So let's say you stop your polish before applying the Tepox to a 400 grit. Now you go back to, when you continue polishing, you go back to an 800 grit. So you continue the polish all the way to your buff, and the color at this point will remain the same, that you remain the same and match your surface. It's important that you work, especially when you first apply Tepox, you work with as much of a dry stone as you can. Water into a slab will prevent any application from going back into the stone. So you want to work with a dry surface. Make sure that you can either dry the slab for a few days if that's feasible, or apply a torch, and basically that's how you get it done. Again, we have 7 colors starting from the the blue, the black. They can be combined, and so until you match your desired color, you can go back and tint it. Maybe you find out that you really needed a little bit more yellow, a little bit more brown, so they can be subsequently applied. And you're probably not going to get the color right the first time. Maybe you didn't apply enough brown, or you need a little bit more yellow. So you can adjust the colors until you reach the perfect match. Once you reach the perfect match, you can use dry again and use Ager on top of that. What the Ager is going to do is basically make sure that the stone colors stays into the stone. It doesn't bleed away. So let's say you had the 400 finish, the Tepox. At this point, you need to continue the polish. It's important that you don't go back to the same grit. So you don't go back to the 400, but you go to the 800. So that basically, with the following step, you're not removing the Tepox and the tint you applied on the edge. The product basically can be completely combined with either one of the 2 products, Ager or Ager Tiger, depending if you're working with an exotic color. Exotic is also, a general word that describes material that's typically more porous. So if you're working with a more porous material, it's probably better to mix it with Ager Tiger and one of those 2. If it's a regular standard color, Ager will do a beautiful job.